are here. Side panel, right? Most of you? At least trying it. Back panel. This is much easier. I already trued it. It's the same steps. You true it, remember it, nothing's a straight line. Try to just make it as curved as you can. Mark your waist, mark your hip, okay? Mark your weight, like this is mainly what, there's no apex here. What's helping you drape it is this line, the cross back, okay? So now we're gonna have about, this is about 8 inches. No, actually it's 10. Yes, 10 inches. For smaller sizes, you can easily get away with 8, okay? So what you're gonna do is you're gonna find the half of this. It's the same panel as the front. Nothing's really changing. The only difference is that we're gonna figure it out where to put this line a little bit differently because we're not going to the apex, we're going to the cross back, okay? And the cross back is 5 inches from the next seam. Okay, so I have mine. What I'm gonna do is just gonna guess, because I don't need to go all the way up. You notice how much, I don't need to deal with the neckline right now. And if anyone's doing any of the curves into armholes, you don't even need to go, you might not even need this line as much. Just make sure you have this line, it needs to be perpendicular. So then I think as long as I'm here, it should be fine for me to drape it. I just mark it and I just strip. Oh, where did I mark it? Oops, oh, there it is. So there you go. So then, strip. And this will change depending on the size of your dress form. Okay. So we're using, just so we don't have extra bulk, I'm just gonna fold over the front. Make sure that my center back panel is correctly done, meaning trued, and also it's on the center back seam because I'm gonna use it as a guide. Same thing, I'm using it as a guide. Same thing as always, using it as a guide. And then we're gonna put this, and this is also gonna go really fast. So we're gonna try to find the middle of our panel. It's about the middle. This is not exact science, it's okay. What we're really looking for is everything, the grains need to be straight. I think a lot of people that are doing the side panels right now have noticed that if the lines get skewed, nothing fits. It's because of your grain. Your grain is fighting you. So there you go. So we're gonna match this line, the cross grain line, to your cross back, which is right here. So you see it's continuation. And I'm just gonna make sure it's straight. So far, straight. Straight. Same thing, I'm gonna fold it over. And you see how it like passes down? Well, that's okay. It's gonna pass the armhole. Doesn't have to be in the armhole as long as this line's straight. And I'm just gonna put it on the waist. And the same steps that I did for the other ones, the same thing. You notice the difference now? It's straight. Right? Okay. I don't have to deal with the neckline. I just need to make sure that I am matching my princess seams. And I'm using this panel, the bottom panel, which is the center back, to help me. And it's very straightforward again. So make sure that's that. You might even be able to get away with 8 for most people. I'm doing bottom of the waist. Just like I said, use your pins to guide you where you want where you want to mark. And same thing here. I'm just gonna put it where I need to mark it. It's already taking shape. Just look at the lines. If you're not sure, you can always lift your muslin to see where you're at. And same thing, this is the sections that most people don't like to do. And we're just gonna slash the waist. If it's getting too bulky for you to see things, you can always fold it. Please put a pin. I might have slashed a little more, but oh well, it happens. Make sure this is straight. This is a little crooked. I must have pulled really harshly on it. It's okay. It's okay. Sometimes when I just, you know, shrink. There you go. Ah. That's okay. Yeah, you will. That's why I was having issues with the sizing, because I pulled it too hard. That's why. And I was like, why is it not giving me what I wanted? Like if you feel like, oh, it's not puckering, why is this puckering so much? Why it's not folding so much? It's because maybe you're off grain. That's why. And that's that. This part might be a little more troublesome because the hip usually is so curvy that you might have to slash a lot more. It's okay, just try your best without pulling so much. That's okay. There you go. She's a little puckery, but it's not the end of the world since it's the hip. That's okay. But my grain is correct. That's what matters. Your grain is correct. Sometimes you're not gonna be able to take away this. This is not a bias. This is length grain, so there's always, it's not gonna fit like a glove. I mean, she's gonna have room. If someone were to wear this, it's not gonna look as puckery. She's gonna fill it out. So there you go. And now what we're gonna do, that was it. Done. But we're gonna true it and we're gonna pin it. That's the front. And after that, you guys are just gonna start doing this yourselves. I mean, you know, you have the rest of the class to do it. And I'm gonna show you. I'm using my muslin to show me where the seams are at, just so they can match. That's that. I don't even have to do that much for the armhole too. Same thing. Shoulder is always straight. You notice that armhole is very easy to do today, so you don't have to do that much. You can just dot it, and then you just take it out. I think I cut into my panel a little too much. I mean, I feel like that's That's what's been happening to everybody today. Does anyone have a French curve, please? Anyone doesn't mind? Okay, so this one's very simple and straightforward. You can see the shape already. That's the armhole. That's the princess seam. This is your hip. Thank you so much, Lisa. And then what we're gonna do is we're gonna go straight for the shoulder. And then you see how our back curves a bit? That's because there's no straight lines even in the back. Because, you know, naturally you hunch a little. There's no one like walking like this or sitting like this. There's a slight hunch to everybody. Okay, so we go here and we just screw it. And this is the part like where you're really gonna be practicing how to use your hip curve. Still feel a little weird here, but oh well. Maybe it's because she is a little rounded. Also, these are new dress forms. The ones that I used had no curve at the back at all. Like they were from the 1980s. So this girl has curve. Alright, so then we're gonna match the hip. Remember, no one's waist goes in like a 30-degree angle. There's some softness to it. So just soften her up a bit. But no, like I said, no one's curves so drastically. And then you're gonna go straight from the side seam to the waist. And that's an inch. And you can draw it, like you can change certain things. So it's just like I'm making my curve a little bit, not as, trying to not make it so angular so you can always round it off. Just because, going back to what we said, no one is that straight. Especially if you're doing sizes that are like 10 and above. Oh, how is it? That's what I thought. My line looked a little crooked. So then we get here. It's straight from the hip down. It's just gonna be like a regular fitted dress. That's basically what we're trying to do. And then bear with me, after this I'm gonna show you how to pin it, and we're gonna pin it really fast so you can just see it on the dress form. Okay, and then the armhole, remember 1/4 of an inch straight, and that's how we round it off. I don't know why today I'm struggling with the French curve. She is not my friend today. Always your side seams are actually squared off. You don't want anything peeking through. feel like I'm cutting for like a million years now. But since we're doing a dress, that's why it's taking so long. So we have this here, and this is where it gets tricky. You're basically gonna be pinning a curve into a curve. Worst comes to worst, I will say the best technique is to do your major points, such as your shoulder seam. You do those first. And always your seam allowance goes into the back, right? So then you do your waist. And this is also why I make sure like to reference the waist of the other drape, because it looks like it's not gonna fit. It will. This is when you have to ease it in. You might have to, you might have to basically do little by little on each side. And you might have to snip it, especially in the curved sides. And boo, try to see if maybe my line is up to here. That's why I also try to make sure that the line matches. This is a guide to make sure like how the curve is supposed to fit, right? So you don't have to use that many pins. You can use like every other inch and a quarter. That's fine, as long as all of them are picking up a little bit from all the layers, and then facing to the back. Since I'm actually rushing, so this way you guys are not looking at this for like half an hour while I pin, because this way you have more time to do the work. Let's just do this a little faster. Same thing, this is why I gave notches, just easier. And let's say, if the fabric is fighting you, snip your seam allowance, okay? That should ease it out a lot more. And remember, it's that edge, that line to line is not going over the line. I know sometimes it's like, oh, it looks better that way. Now it's just you're taking away from the fit. And I almost got the same length. I almost did. So close. Okay. Now we're gonna pin the front to the back, and this is already pinned. Same way. Everything to the back. I did pin in the shoulder, pin in the apex, pin in the waist, and then little by little I started pinning. And you guys will understand what I mean once you start doing it, because it's not that easy. I mean, it's not as straightforward as it may look. So then, as you know, shoulder back, everything is back shoulder to front, fold it over front. Shrink. And this is also why you notice how my princess seams are meeting at the shoulder seam. That's why I used my muslin as a reference. Everything matches. And that's why you also use that. And also apart from that, that's why we make sure everything's perpendicular. So at the end, nothing's gonna chip on you. Nothing. And this is the part that gets a little annoying. So then we have the front to the back. And I promise, after this, we'll break. Okay, so this one, the same thing. It's the best to go armhole first, then waist. Try your best with the waist, and you'll notice when you start doing this, you'll notice what I mean. Because you're not sewing it, it's curves on curves. And you just get used to it. This is when you start opening it. You guys, try your best. I'm doing it really fast so you guys can see it on the dress form. And we can do the hem really quickly. You notice that it's very uneven, like one side is longer than the other, and that's okay. I don't know if we have a yardstick, but I think we have perpendicular thing here. Okay, perfect. Okay. You notice? Look at the back. You notice, like, even me not really pinning it, you can see the shape. Like, you can, I barely have to touch it for it to fall in the right place. And this is why it's very important to have everything. Like, I know where it's supposed to go because I know where my waist is at. I will be pinning this nicely so everyone can see it. But even without me doing much, the shape is there. Okay? And then everything is to the sides, to the back seam, please. Okay. Okay. And that's what brings the seams. Oh, sorry. Sorry about that. So basically now this is how you measure, this is how you will do this. Let's just say I want this gauge. This is your square ruler. This is why it has a straight edge. Let's just say, oh, kind of want it around here. You don't measure from the waist down. You measure from the floor. So what you're gonna do, you're gonna pick a number that you want it. Right now I'm hitting 22. That's where I want. You measure it again, 22. That's here. It might not be 22 inches long. That's not what I'm saying. What I'm saying is, like, if that's where it is, this is just showing you where to square it off. And that's the fastest way. And the most accurate way to do it. And I just go around 22 and I can cut it. That's how you even a hem, okay? From the floor up. Okay. Thank you.